Hello, everyone. Welcome to Buffalo Wild Wings in Pikeville for another edition of the Coach Al Holland Show. We're set to talk University of Pikeville Bears football for the next half hour. Coming to you live from Buffalo Wild Wings. We've got players in the house. We've got Bears fans in the house. It's a U-Pike kind of night at Buffalo Wild Wings. We're here every Tuesday night. And, of course, the Al Holland Show presented by Appalachian Wireless. Tonight we'll recap Saturday's game with Bethel University. We'll preview Reinhardt University coming up this Saturday, and you'll meet a couple of the Bears players as well. The reigning Mid-South Conference East Division Defensive Player of the Week is in the house. We'll talk with him, and you'll meet a member of the offensive line as well. Now, joined by the head coach of your University of Pikeville Bears, Coach Al Holland Jr. Coming off Saturday, I know a little bit of disappointment in the coach's eyes.
You know, it was a tough loss for us, and the guys played really hard. Had opportunities throughout the ball game to really take advantage of some big plays, and we turned the football over early in the game. Had some big runs, some big catches, and turned the ball over inside the 10-yard line. And you're not going to win many ball games like that, and we really preach that day in and day out, ball security. Thought the defense played well. We just a stop away at the end of the ball game to really finish them off once we took the lead again late in the game. Their quarterback got out of the pocket and scrambled and made some nice plays, and you got to give him prompts and you got to take care of him. But he did a great job making us miss in tackles, and we had to get back to the fundamentals this week in practice, from tackling to ball security, just some of those easy things that you do early on in camp.
24-21, Bethel wins it in a game that, as we've talked about, you're trying to be more balanced offensively, and certainly as balanced as you could have been.
Yep.
Saturday, I think only 12 yards separation between rushing yards and passing yards.
Right.
Did you like the offense outside of not scoring in the red zone?
Yeah, I liked it very well, and Jamar Kirksey finally got on board and ended up being the Mid-South Conference Offensive Player of the Week with 180-some yards rushing. Had a big day for us, and we've really preached to him about sticking his foot in the ground and running north and south, and it's really starting to pay off for him in the last couple of ball games. But we got to take care of the football. We had to break in two new quarterbacks this week. Bowen Smith played, Shannon Patrick both played in the ball game. But I thought Bowen played really well. Went out with an injury there a couple different times throughout the game. Just got to keep him healthy and keep him going. Shannon came in and led a drive down the field. So, both those guys got some valuable experience this week. And with the loss of Sonny 2 weeks ago, I thought both those kids stepped in and played well this week. And that's big for us moving forward, especially when you got the number 5 team in the country coming to your house this week.
Get a little better each week.
That's
those
right.
guys are certainly doing that, 2-2, and it doesn't affect the division standings.
Right.
That's a positive you take from it, and a good day offensively and defensively. You take away the turnovers, and it's a different outcome.
Defensively played solid all day, just a play or two here or there. I want to say we gave up 143 yards after contact, just some missed tackles. I want to say we had it in the 20s in missed tackles this week, and you're not going to win very many football games that way. So, we got to get back to the fundamentals this week. This football team is hungry.
We're going to put Bethel to bed as we look at the highlights from last Saturday. Before we'll meet the Bear players and preview Reinhardt, we look at the highlights from Bethel Saturday.
Early on right here, Jamar Kirksey getting, we got backed up to start the football game, and with Jamar with a nice run here. A different group of offensive linemen starting this week, and you have another group this next week coming. Jordan Olinger continues to come on. A nice pass from Bowen Smith to Jordan for a touchdown early in the game to get us the lead. Shadon Jones here with a nice return. He continues to do a great job back there for us. True freshman out of Woodruff, South Carolina. Here's our guys, just everybody running to the football and making tackles. That's what you got to do throughout the ball game. Jamar with another nice run here early in the ball game. Bowen finding Braxton Whitmore, and we got to talk to him on the show a few weeks back, and he continues to improve week in and week out. Jared Jarrell, a Prestonsburg native here, getting his first touchdown catch as a Bear, and continues to improve for us. here we are defensively. Jack making another tackle. I want to say he had 14 tackles on the day. Tackle after tackle, running that alley and putting his face in there, doing a great job versus a team that's trying to run the football on us. Conway and a group of the Bears there to make tackles. Here was a big play right here, the muff punt here, and drop the snap and just being in position to make a play. It ended up being a touchdown for us and helping us there in points. Emmett Kersey coming in and making a nice play for us there on the sack on a long down and distance. Then here was a big drive. Bowen makes a nice throw to Jarrell here and goes out after this play. And then Shannon Patrick comes in and leads the offense for a while. And then Bowen back in the ball game with Kirksey, and we've run a little bit of option. Then, Jordan Olinger with another touchdown catch on the day. Can't say enough about him, and he continues to improve. Tanner Pfizer with a nice catch, and then there's Jack and Jamar Kirksey that were both, offense and defensive players of the week in the Mid-South. And that's big for us. It says a lot about our kids and our program and, continue to take strides forward. Didn't show on the scoreboard and didn't get what we wanted, but we got to continue to improve. And these guys are hungry, and, they want to get over the hump here.
Indeed. Get over the hump. We'll try it again Saturday. Reinhardt comes to town. We'll preview that game coming up a little later. When we come back, we'll meet the Bears. Jack Hopkins, the Defensive Player of the Week. Justo Polanco, join us in the Bears Den. It's the Al Holland Show, presented by Appalachian Wireless, live from Buffalo Wild Wings in Pikeville. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Buffalo Wild Wings in Pikeville for the Al Holland Show. It's our weekly broadcast focusing on the University of Pikeville Bears football team. UPike 2-2 and back in action at the Hambly Athletic Complex this Saturday, a 1:30 kickoff when Reinhardt, Georgia, comes to town. And now we step into the Bears Den, and you'll meet a couple of the Bears players. Jack Hopkins, a senior out of Brandywine, Maryland, joins us now. Jack, welcome to the Al Holland Show.
Thank you.
Great to have you here. Of course, you're the reigning Mid-South Conference East Division Defensive Player of the Week. We'll talk about that in just a moment. But first, let's meet Jack Hopkins. Talk about your academic major and then what your plans are for the future. You're a senior. You're ready to get out of here.
Yes, sir. I'm actually majoring in business administration. I picked up a minor in math because, as you know, I'm a redshirt fifth-year senior to, have some classes for this final year. But after this, I plan on staying here and trying to hop on with the coaching staff, becoming a GA, and getting my master's.
Very good. Of course, with the master's program here at the University of Pikeville, able to do that. Football's in your blood. You want to stick around, possibly get into coaching somewhat. Let's talk about that. Talk about your football background. What made Jack Hopkins become a college football player? What led up to that? Talk about your background, where you played, and maybe when you first put the pads on.
Started playing around, it was about third grade, so I'd say about 8 years old. So, I've been playing for a long time now. Just turned 22. Played every year since then. So, had a lot of experience growing up and playing through high school,
Talk about your high school career and your high school team, some memories of that.
I played for a great coach, Bryce Bevel. Actually, had played a little time with the Washington Redskins on the practice squad, but he was a great player at Syracuse, and his knowledge of the game and him passing it down to me has really just made me the player I am today. I always have my eyes where they need to be, and just starting from a young age, it really helps these days.
And you come from Maryland. You're
Yes,
Redskins fans, I would imagine.
Absolutely. It's been tough.
Very good.
It's been tough this year.
Things will get better. We can
only hope.
Jack, Mid-South Conference Defensive Player of the Week. What's that mean to you?
It's never sweet when it comes with a loss. It must have been a down week in the league if they're giving it to a team that lost. But, those aren't really – those awards are nice to see. Of course, it feels good. I'm not going to lie. But, when it comes to the loss, it doesn't taste good.
Sure. 14 tackles, that matches your career high at the University of Pikeville, but also you're ranked nationally among the leading tacklers in the country. Don't know if you realize that or not, but you're having a great senior year. Talk about the goals for this defensive unit, the goals for this U-Pike team, because I know a conference championship is something you guys talk about.
Right, yeah, it's still obviously a possibility. It's early on. We would love to have a conference championship, just a shot to play for it, really, a chance to, get a playoff game maybe, possibly. That's, of course, one of our goals as well. But, we just got to take it week by week as of right now.
2-2 start, not a division game, so Saturday's loss does not affect, nor will this Saturday's. But what's the mood in the locker room? What's the mood amongst the players with this 2-2 record coming off a tough loss?
Yeah, it was a tough 3-point loss. We battled, we fought, and we came out a little banged up too. But after that, we just got to move on to the next week, leave it behind us, start preparing for Reinhardt.
And the players still upbeat about the rest of the way?
Absolutely. Looking forward to this week.
Let's get a win Saturday.
Yes, sir.
Jack Hopkins, reigning Defensive Player of the Week in the Mid-South Conference, and you'll see him on the field Saturday in the secondary with this U-Pike team as they take on Reinhardt University. When we come back, we'll continue in the Bears Den. You'll meet someone from the offensive side. He's a big guy. He's one of those guys up in the trenches, Justo Polanco, when we return on the Al Holland Show, presented by Appalachian Wireless, live from Buffalo Wild Wings. Welcome back to the Al Holland Show, where we talk University of Pikeville Bears football, live from Buffalo Wild Wings in Pikeville. We've got a great crowd of Bears fans in the house tonight. You'll meet some Bears players, Bears fans here as well, and we continue in the Bears Den talking to U-Pike football players, joined now by a freshman, a young guy who gets it done in the trenches, doesn't get a lot of publicity. Ladies and gentlemen, Justo Polanco, a freshman offensive lineman, 6'3", 330, for those wondering about those stats. Welcome to the Al Holland Show.
How you doing?
Great to have you here. And, Justo, before we talk football, let's talk about Justo Polanco, the student athlete.
Yes, sir.
You come in, obviously, to get an education. What's your academic major?
I major in business marketing right now.
Very good. What do you plan to do in the future?
Right now, basically I'm focused on school, but in the future, just go into my major and then get a job that fits my major.
Very good. And, of course, going to play football as long as you can?
Yes, sir, if God permits.
Very good. Justo Polanco, you're one of those big guys in the trenches. You don't get a lot of publicity, but you're also a late starter.
Yes, sir.
To the game. Talking with Jack Hopkins just a moment ago, he started playing when he was in third, fourth grade.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't start playing football until much later. Talk about that.
Well, I wasn't playing football. I actually got into football watching my big brother play. Actually, when I entered high school, my freshman year, that's when I said, my brother went to college. I want to go to college.
Sure.
And then people was like, you are tall, and you should try it. And my first day in football, I got beat up, but I actually ended up loving football.
Sure.
So I started playing football since my freshman year until now.
And obviously at some point somebody said, you're pretty good at this.
Yes, sir. I got a lot of comments like that.
I guarantee it. Your brother, also a football player, was he an influence on your football career? Obviously he was playing, and that led you to try it.
Yes, sir. He actually, and till this day, he actually motivates me and telling me to keep going. But one of the key points that he always told me, put God first, and then that's what motivated us the most. And when I watched, he only played for 2 years in high school, and then ended up going to Western. I actually I was like, I can just do it just like he can do it.
Sure.
So.
A little bit of motivation there.
Yes, sir.
You're down in the trenches. You don't get a lot of publicity. Jamar Kirksey, the reigning Mid-South Conference Offensive Player of the Week, but I know he's one that gives his offensive line a lot of credit when he runs for 180 yards in a game. Talk about that, the pride of the offensive line as a unit when you've got guys that run for 180, and as a unit, you guys are around the 250 mark running the football. That's big for you guys.
Yeah, that's one thing about our running back. He always motivates us, and he always pushing us regardless of what the situation is, and we work, as hard as he works, and he always tells us, you work for me, I work for you.
Yeah.
And that's just like a brotherhood, you have your brother's back and we have his, so it's pretty amazing having him. And to be honest with you, I think he's one of the best running backs.
He is.
in our conference.
He's a dandy. Now, of course, the offensive line, you guys are getting it done. One of the top-ranked rushing attacks in the country. Reinhardt coming in Saturday, and another tough opponent. The Mid-South Conference, good opponents each week. How tough has the transition been for you as a football player, going from high school to college, but also in the classroom? How's that transition?
Well, my first, started when I came to college. It's a whole different environment, and then at the same time, it's managing football with school. But like our coaches always tell us, you gotta know how to manage your schedule. And like you said, the team we're playing this Saturday, we just gotta, watch film, and then just study, and then, we just go and find out who's gonna be the better team when we come down to Saturday.
Very good. Justo Polanco, 6'3", 330-pound freshman offensive lineman out of Tampa, Florida, our guest. Thanks for being with us. Good luck Saturday. Let's get a win.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
We'll step out and we'll be rejoined by the coach. We'll preview Reinhardt coming up Saturday at the Hambly Complex. It's the Coach Al Holland Show, talking U-Pike football live from Buffalo Wild Wings. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Buffalo Wild Wings in Pikeville. It's the Coach Al Holland Show, talking University of Pikeville Bears football. It's presented by Appalachian Wireless, and we're rejoined by the head coach of your U-Pike Bears, Coach Al Holland. We step to the Bears Den. We meet Jack Hopkins, the reigning Defensive Player of the Week, a senior who is looking possibly to stick around, work on his master's,
right.
Maybe join the coaching staff. And then you've got a young guy, Justo Polanco, both very well-spoken, great representatives of the program.
Two great young men. Says a lot about this program. You get a senior and a young man that's a freshman for our football team, and both of them's doing big things for us. And Jack's wanted to be a coach and stick around and be a graduate assistant once he finishes up, and he's had a heck of a playing career. And hopefully he ends up having an All-American type season here for us, but he's on track to have one, and he's just got to stay healthy. And Justo has a humongous upside to him and a bright future, and trying to get that leadership out of him. But he's a big human up front, and players tend to follow big humans and large men, and he's a bright spot on that young offensive line that we have.
He really is. He's a big kid. He's a young kid. True freshman.
That's right.
And he didn't start playing football till his freshman year of high school.
That's right.
He's still got some development to go,
yes.
Strength and learning the game. But certainly, if he's around 4 years, I can see big things out of Justo.
Expecting big things out of him. I had a big summer and a big camp for us, and it's played well for us early on this season. And trying to get him to take that leadership role and take the bull by the horns and continue to develop and work day in and day out. And Coach Heineman does a great job with him and continues to push him every single day.
Very good. Just a couple more of the Bears players, and you'll see them on the field Saturday taking on Reinhardt, Georgia. Number 5 in the nation. Reinhardt comes to the Hambly Complex. They're of course, coming in here ranked 5th. Do they overlook U-Pike? And how focused is U-Pike for Reinhardt?
Well, I know we are focused, and I think they're really focused on us as well. They was off this past week and, wanting to exchange film early on. So, it said a lot about them. Their coach, we're great friends, and, we both lean on each other and, love spending time together and play golf together at our Mid-South meetings and things like that. So it'll be great to get have him up on campus this weekend. But, it's a big opportunity for us. Might be one of the highest-ranked teams that's ever came in here and played at home against U-Pike. And it'd be big to knock them off here at home. We was right there a year ago at their place, and they get a late score. That took the lead, very similar to this past weekend with us and Bethel, that took a win away from us last year on the road. So, we got our hands full, but very winnable ball game, but we're going to play for 60 minutes. We can't turn the football over. We got to create some turnovers on offense. They're going to try to control the clock and control our opportunities with the ball. And, special teams has to be solid across the board. And, that's from punt team to punt return and from our kickoff to kickoff return teams.
As tough as the Mid-South Conference is, East Division, West Division, it matters not. you've got to cover all aspects of the game.
You have to, and week in and week out. And, there's a lot of great teams in this league. You might not be ranked in the top 25, but, there's a lot of upsets week in and week out. So you got to bring your A game every single week. And, we're going to have to bring that this weekend with a very good football team with a lot of experience coming into our place to play. But, I like our chances. We're at home. That means a lot to us. We've had a great crowd our first couple of home games, and, expect a big crowd this weekend to come out here and support these guys and help get these guys up to knock off a top 5 team in the country.
Obviously, you've had some big losses, guys that have lost for the season.
Yep.
But 4 games in, typically you've got some guys that are banged up. What's the health report of the UPike team this week?
Defensively, it looks like we're going to be good to go. Josh Gary is still out, a young man that had some back injuries, sat out this past season, played early on in the season, doing some rehab stuff, so he'll be back in a couple of weeks. So that's really the only guy we got out on defense. Offensively, we're missing Sonny Warren. He'll be out for the season. Chase Richardson will be out this week for us, one of the offensive linemen. But we'll get Matt Benson back that didn't get a play this past week, that had a concussion from the EKU game. Austin Prey missed the second half of the Bethel game, so it looks like he's on track to be back this week as well. So, hopefully we get everybody back.
Next man up.
That's right, next man up mentality. We got to continue to move forward and continue to work hard every single day, and that's what these guys are doing. We had a great practice this morning. We got to have another one tomorrow. 1:30
kickoff Saturday at the Hambly Complex, and the Bear Walk takes place at about 11:30. Get there early.
Yep. Hour and 45 minutes before the ball game kicks off, and it'll be right there through the Bear grounds, and the guys will walk under the bleachers and come out and support these young men.
Indeed. Check out this UPike program Saturday at the Hambly Complex. 1:30 kickoff with Reinhardt, Georgia. Get there about 2 hours before game time. Enjoy, of course, the tailgating activities and be part of the Bear Walk. You've been tuned to the Al Holland Show, talking UPike football live from Buffalo Wild Wings in Pikeville. It's presented by Appalachian Wireless. Have a great evening, everyone.